Hello guys, long time no see. So I was noodling around with my website and haven't made a video in a while because exams are coming up, so I've been focusing on that. But I've been noodling around with my website. It's been pretty hard. I'm thinking of pausing the project and learning web development more officially, and then restarting the project because it's getting slower and slower and slower and harder to make. The more complicated it gets because I didn't take like an official course. I didn't like officially learn it. So, anyways, I was fooling around with the website when I stumbled across a connection test video, and over the years, ever since I started creating games, I've been trying to make a multiplayer one. It's literally I haven't been able to. First, like the first of all, um, finally figured out after a while that you can't do across network multiplayer games without something called port forwarding, and I didn't want to do that. And all my game ideas at the time, when I finally did figure out how to send data between two computers, all my ideas required across network connections. But I did try it anyways, to do it without cross network connection. But my data handling, um, my data handling and sending system was too inefficient. Um, and then a few days ago, I found a video that came up with this system. Right, it uses packets. So you send packets, which are basically like boxes of information in the form of bytes, and then you unpackage it. It's pretty cool. And it's local host. It's locally. It's like a LAN, or I don't know. It's on your network. It's a local server hosting. So um, yeah, you can actually see I made a couple of iterations of this. So this is Tankit. That's what the actual game's gonna be. But you can see when I was testing it, I have a tic-tac-toe online connect test 1, test clients 2, uh, and test server 2, and then multiplayer game test 4, 6, 7. Don't know where 5 is. And now I'm working on Tankit. So let me just show you what it is. Oh, sorry, I cannot maximize this window because I have it print my IP at the bottom. I don't want to reveal that, but please enter your username. Let's do Loraxio, and then let's do another client. You can see it says waiting for players, and there's the first player. Do you want to run this server? You can say no, because this one's already running it. Let's say um, guest, right? Whatever. Press OK, and you can see I joined here. See, it stopped waiting here, and I joined here. And when I actually move, you can see I move. Now, the tank's head, so the gun, is actually going to point in the direction my mouse is. I haven't added that yet. But it actually turns the tank's body in the direction I'm moving, which is pretty cool. That took a while to implement. And you can see it works on here too. Right? And there's collision, so that it can't go through each other. But yeah, that's it's been a lot of fun making this so far. Hopefully it stays fun. Um, and it's fully online, which is great. Um, okay, so what I actually need to do, let me pause the recording. Alright, so I've just minimized this so that you can't see it, but this actually, that was the game phase you saw me moving in. And I'm going to be in the build phase. And build phase is not going to allow you to move, but I'm going to have this map manager. And in the engine, let's create a map manager. Let's see. let's see, where do I initialize these? Entity manager, map manager equals to new map manager. So the map manager, we're gonna have a public array list of tiles. This array list of tiles is going to be called tiles equals to new array list. Then we're just going to have a add tile. You know what? Let's call it place tile. And you know what? No. Yeah, let's just do public void add tile. And public void remove tile. Removing the tile, we can do tile, do tiles dot remove tile, and do right here, pass in tile dot add tile. There you go. So now, much like the entity manager, and much like the entity manager, we're gonna have a tick method, a tick and a render method. So let's make that public void tick, public void render. We're gonna pass in graphics G. What is this being called from? What? Huh. Anyways, we're gonna have a tick render. And let's call this before I forget. Let me just see. Okay, we have the main scene. So that's ticking the tile manager. So tiles are gonna tick and render before. So let's do right here. And you can see this code's not very clean. That's what I was talking about. I can say we're gonna have a private final tile map manager. Right. We can say this dot map manager equals map manager. We're gonna have to pass that through the parameters. In this main scene, map manager. Alright, so now that that's all done, map manager should be ticking, and the map manager should be rendering before the entity manager, because the tile manager is basically like the floor, and the floor goes below the object. Yeah. Also, I did a little bit of changing to the run method than I usually do, and essentially I use this thread.sleep line, and this is basically like the FPS cap, except it allows for there to be more FPS but the same number of ticks. Right, so like 140 FPS, that way somebody on a 144 Hz monitor can get that beautiful 144 Hz update on the game, but it still ticks at a constant rate. So, alright, so now we're taking rendering it. So, rendering, let me just look at how I did it for the entity manager for ticking, because I know that requires a little bit of a change than just an enhanced for loop. We're gonna have tiles it for list iterator. Oh wait, what is that? What's IT stand for? IT iterator? Yeah, iterator equals to tiles dot list iterator, while the iterator has the next index, we're gonna try to do tile t equals to it dot next. We're gonna t dot tick, and we're gonna say if t dot is active, it dot move, right? We're gonna do catch exception e and return. So this will make it, if we have a concurrent modification exception, we're just gonna return. Let's do concurrent modification right there. Okay, so these don't exist. Let's make that, right? Public void tick. We're gonna have the tick method. Public abstract void. Right, and it's gonna have to be abstract. Public abstract void render. That's gonna pass in the graphics G. Then we're gonna have a constructor and some variables. Public int x, y, public int width, height. We're also going to have a public boolean is active, right? We're gonna have an is active. What was the other problem? Oh, the tick. Oh, now we're gonna have this is gonna be the public int grid x, grid y. So essentially what this is each tile is gonna be laid out in a grid format. So we're just gonna get like the grid x. So like if it's two to the right, then yeah, you know. So let's see. So we're gonna pass in int x, int y, int width, int height, and then from that we're gonna create a grid x, grid y, right? So we can do this dot x equals x, this dot y equals y, this dot width equals width, this dot height equals height, right? Let's do a public void set grid x. Do grid x. This dot grid x equals to x. Public void set grid y. Do this dot grid y equals to y. We can collapse these, make it easier to read. Let's see. Is this not being called? It should be. Oh, right, forgot. Okay, so now we're gonna surround a for loop in a concurrent modification exception. And instead of throwing an error, we can say this. We're gonna basically print a warning, right? So, warning. Concurrent modification exception occurred in the map manager. It could also be nothing, right? We're gonna have a for tile t in tiles. I'm gonna do t dot render. Pass in G. Perfect. So we can close out of this. Okay. Map manager. Um, Now I think we should do, so what we're gonna do is in the initialization, wait, let's see, wait, no, it can't. So, what is this called? This is called when the scene is first started up. So in that case, when the scene is first started up, we're gonna want to lay out all of the tiles, right? So let's do that. So let's see, we're gonna do four. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a grid formation, right? 4 int I um, equals to 0, I plus plot, or I is... Okay, each tile is going to be 64. Alright, you know what, I'm going to calculate right here. Each tile is going to be 64 in length. And the actual display is 1088 by 768, so 1088 divided by 64 is 17, and 768 divided by 64 is 12, so it's 17 by 12 is the base. And I just realized I wasn't zoom in, so you might not see it, my bad. So what we can do is do 4 int I is equal to 0. I is smaller than 17. I plus plus. So this is going to be for the x-axis. Right, so I'm just going to do x here. Right. So this is x-axis. And let me just put a note, 1088 divided by 64 equals to 17, just to make that clear. And so we're going to do, starting with the first one, let's do tile, whoops, map manager dot add tile. We're going to create a new tile, whoops, new tile. Oh, crap. Why did I make this abstract? Yeah, I don't know why I made that abstract. That's my bad. Alright. New tile, and word parameters are going to be the x, okay, the x, right? So the x position is x times 64. The y is going to be 1 second. Let's change this to I. Oh, I know how we can do this. So this is rows, right? This is going in rows. So as long as I is smaller than 17. So that's going to go across the row. And for each index in that row, we can go through its column. So we can do int I is equal to 0, int I is smaller, or int j is equal to 0, and j is smaller than, I believe it was 12, yeah, 12. I'm going to do j plus plus. What did I do wrong? Why is this throwing an error? Oh, whoops. This is going to go through each column and row, so we can do. So, okay, sorry. Now we can do mapmanager.addTile, a new tile, and now we're going to pass in the x, which is going to be I times 64, a y or a j times 64, 64, 64, and let's pass in I and j. So what is this I and j? It's going to be the grid x, grid y, because why bother making it again or setting it later? That's just like unnecessary. Grid x equals grid x, this dot grid y equals grid y, right? So let's do a public int get grid x, because that's what we're going to be doing that quite a bit, right? Sorry I'm typing so slowly. I don't type very quickly in the morning. So that should work. And then each tile is going to have a Alright, so I had to find a tile image. This is going to be replaced with a tile artwork of my own, but I just found this on the internet literally a few seconds ago. So we're going to use that as a placeholder. The texture's only going to be temporary though. We're going to replace it with something more unique. I'm going to draw it myself, by the way. So, yeah. Okay, g.render xy with height. We should run it and it should work. Okay. Why the hell is it not rendering? Did I forget to render it? Nope. Alright, one second. I'm gonna have to look. Alright, what the fuck is happening? Because I just tested it and it turns out that it does render it, but then the list suddenly deletes itself. Oh, I see the problem. Is active is not equal to true. Is active should be equal to true. Alright, let's try it. God damn it. What's wrong now? Alright, so the problem has to do, apparently, with the image. It's not rendering the image for some reason. So you can see g.draw image. The texture won't render for some reason. You know what? What if I do? What if I change it to tank body 1.png? Maybe it's a problem with that, with the actual file. Oh, okay, yeah, so it is a problem with the file. Tile.png. Am I blind or something? Like, why can't I see it? I should be able to see it. Maybe I wrote the path wrong. bin/assets/textures/tile.png. What the hell? Uh, this is a PNG file. The hell? Maybe it's not retrieving it correctly. I just deleted it, so let's see. For some reason, I can't render the image. Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. This I will fix later. Change texture. Alright. Well, we've created the brain of the tile, so the tile should actually work now. Let's go into the engine. Let's change this to game phase. Did not mean to run it. Fuck. What is that? 127. Oh. Okay, so it's fine to show that. D. Bro, the fuck? Can port numbers. Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. I think we'll be fine. Okay, let's run this. Okay, we've created that. Alright, I'm gonna do hippity hoppity getting the fuck out of here. Alright, I've been coding for a while, see ya.